In today's video, I'm going to be showing you what it's like to get an MRI, the full experience. The main reason why I'm here is I'm getting an MRI on my knee. I should have had this done about 6 years ago because I was involved in an inline skating accident, cracked my knee, but I'm a stubborn personal trainer, so I decided to rehab everything myself. And more importantly, I didn't have insurance at the time, I'm gonna be honest. The following year, I did get insurance, but through the rehab process, seeing physical therapists, getting deep tissue massage, acupuncture, the whole 9 yards, chiropractic, I got my knee feeling a lot better. But then 4 years later, I injured my knee again and I couldn't believe it. So I rehabbed it all again myself and I knew I probably did need an MRI. But if you're anybody like me, you don't want to go through this whole experience of dealing with doctors, going to the doctor's office, which I did last year. I saw an orthopedic surgeon. I was gonna get an MRI, but then my knee started feeling so good, I neglected it. But I know now that if I want to perform at a better level, such as snowboarding, which I do every single year, and live my life to the fullest and being an athlete that I am, I'm gonna need to get an MRI. So I wanted to showcase what it's like here at First Look MRI today, showing you the full experience that they actually do not take insurance. That's part of their thing, and they make it super affordable, fast, and easy. So we're gonna walk in here today, and I'm gonna show you what it's like. Hey, how's it going, Brian?
Okay, thanks for coming by.
Nice to meet you, pleasure.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome to First Look MRI.
Awesome, I'm so happy to be here. So I am super excited to bring you today's video because I've been meaning to get an MRI, but I've been very hesitant to even go to a doctor's office. And so when I first spoke with their team here, they were super fast to get me in almost the same day. And also, I do have insurance, but you don't have to have insurance. So I just wanted to ask a little bit more about how'd you get started and why'd you decide to open these centers?
Well, I got started about 6 years ago. I used to work at Northeast Georgia Health System and I was the director of MRI there, and eventually went to work for Northside Hospital. And then the prices were so high to get an MRI, sometimes $2,000 or $3,000, sometimes more than $3,000. I thought it would be nice to open up my own shop and then try to have price transparency where there's just one cost for an MRI and the cost is affordable so people can get an MRI. And we also have no need for a doctor order. Since we don't take any insurance, we can have a patient come in with no doctor order because we don't have to have the order to give to an insurance company. So people can come in off the street and get a scan and get the results the same day, and just want to have affordability and then price transparency, I guess.
Oh, that's awesome. And so usually you can get appointments pretty quick, right? Like within sometimes the same day or?
Yeah, almost always you can get the same day. We have 3 different centers, one in Brazelton, Alpharetta, and Brookhaven. And between the 3 places, almost always there's an opening at some point. You can get a scan either that day, sometimes the next morning.
Wow, and then from start to finish, how long does everything usually take?
Well, when you walk in the front door, it's about 5 minutes to fill out the paperwork.
Okay.
And then the scan itself, depending on the exam, it's between 20 and 40 minutes, usually about 25 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad. I thought it was like an hour or something or an hour.
In the olden days, the MRI technology is advanced. So a long time ago when I did my fellowship, it would take about an hour to do a scan, but now it's about, most scans are about 20 minutes really. And something they're getting shorter every couple of years. They come up with advances.
That's really good because I know some of my clients have been very hesitant about getting MRI and staying inside a closed contraption for a very long time. And speaking of, there's 2 types of the MRIs. There's an open and a closed, right?
Yeah, so there's an open MRI and it's 2 flat plates. And so when you're inside the MRI machine, there's a plate in front of you and a plate behind you, but you can put your arms out on the side. So you're not really inside a tube. But the closed MRI is a long donut, and you have to be inside and you're surrounded all around by a tube. So it's called the closed MRI. So we have a closed MRI here and also in Brookhaven. And we have a true open MRI with the 2 plates in Brazelton.
So for maybe someone who's claustrophobic, would the open MRI be a better option? And is there a difference between the 2?
That's a very good question. Yeah, so the open MRIs are 2 flat plates and they don't have quite a strong magnetic field. It's like 1/5 the magnetic field is the round donut. When you have a round donut, it creates a very homogeneous, strong magnetic field. And the open MRI is really good for claustrophobic patients. Because you're not trapped inside of a tube, you're not deep in there. So lots of patients get really nervous when they're deep inside a tube. So the open MRI is good for claustrophobia, but the image quality is not quite as good.
That's what I was
When you see them side by side, a lot of times they look almost identical, but there's some sequences and some scans where one will look significantly better. So typically people will have a high field scanner unless they're claustrophobic, and they're like, I can't go in the high field, I need the open MRI.
So if you're able to, it's best to do the closed one just to
and
get
it's a little
more
bit
accurate
faster
results.
too. Yeah, it's a faster scan. Image quality is a little teeny bit better.
Okay.
But the open MRI is usually very good image quality, but just not quite as good. And it's a lot quieter too, and it's just more comfortable to have quiet, open. You can put your arms out, and people usually do a good job. So a lot of people come there just because they want to have the quiet, open scanner, and they know the image quality is good enough, but it's just not quite as good as the closed scanner.
Okay, you said it's about 20-30 minutes, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay,
yep.
perfect.
Not too long.
That's good, and so we don't have to be there forever and take up all day. So we're gonna get started. I guess what's the first next step? How long does it take? You said it was about 5 minutes for paperwork?
Yeah, so I'll show you what it has. So you come in the door and I'll say, hey, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate your business.
Yeah.
And then we come over here and I'll get you to fill out some paperwork. I'll give the patient this. And if you wanted to sit down there and fill out the paperwork, you take this tablet. We're paperless.
Yeah.
So you go in there, fill out your paperwork. Takes about 3 or 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then you hand that back to me. And once you hand it back to me, I'll say, looks good. And then I would ask you, do you have any metal in your body? MRI is a really strong magnet, and you can't have an aneurysm clip in the brain because that could twist.
Pacemaker?
Pacemaker is bad too. Any long wires that can conduct electricity and cause an arrhythmia. And so you can't have pacemakers or aneurysm clips. And there's a few other things. Medicinal patches sometimes can cause heating.
So if someone does have metal in the body, is there another option, or?
Usually you just don't get an MRI. You have to get a CT scan or some other thing.
So while we're there, CT scan, what's the difference? Let's pretend I don't know anything. CT scan, MRI, X-ray. What's the difference?
These are good questions you're coming up with. Okay, so X-ray is an X-ray beam that shines through the body and hits the bone. And it hits the bone, and the energy does not make it through to the other side. And so anything that's dense, like bone, will show up as white.
Okay.
A CT scanner is just like an X-ray, but it's a computed X-ray. It's an X-ray tube that spins around in a circle. So it's shooting a continuous X-ray that's spinning, and it looks just like an X-ray. The bone is white, and the air is dark, and the soft tissues are gray. But a CT and X-ray are essentially the exact same thing. They're radiation where the bones are white, and you really see bones well. So X-ray and CT you can think of as the same thing.
CT's are just a little bit better.
Yeah, just you're way better.
Way better.
It's like a spinning. Anyway, so you see beautiful three-dimensional images, two-dimensional images, or even sometimes three-dimensional images in the CT scan. Whereas X-ray is just a one-dimensional. They have a plate behind you and it shoots through. Just a piece of film basically. Whereas the CT scan is really fancy. You can see great detail inside the body. Now MRI is completely different. It just uses magnets and then. And radio waves, so there's no radiation. So you could have MRI all day, every day, and it will cause no harm. There's no radiation. Whereas if you had a CT scan, the whole time you're being radiated. And so MRI is better. You see more soft tissue contrast, and it's perfectly safe.
Okay. Got it. Well,
that's why I love MRI. It's just safe and super powerful.
Yeah.
The only problem is it's too expensive. So historically, people haven't got MRIs because it costs so much.
Right.
But they should get MRIs because it's so powerful and safe.
Right.
So that's why I opened, because I wanted to have the power of MRI affordable and accessible. You don't have to have a doctor's order. You can come in and get it. There's just one transparent price that everybody pays. It's not a different price for everybody. Yeah. And so that's the dream, and that's what I'm trying to do.
No, and that's perfect. And I was actually just talking with one of your guests here earlier because of the fact like her mom fell, hit her head, and she was able to get in here the same day. She's already back there right now getting MRI. I think that's really awesome, and I think it just puts the power to the people and gives them the option to do what they want rather than waiting in a long line, taking an hour and a half to even start to get to your appointment. Because I've already gone to the orthopedic. I saw a doctor. My appointment was at 3 o'clock, for example. It took me almost 90 minutes. And so what I like about coming here, it's super fast, it's affordable, and it's efficient. And so with all that being said, we're gonna get an MRI on my knee. Main reason why I'm here, I should have done this back in 2017. I was inline skating, fell, cracked it, but I'm a stubborn personal trainer. It took me almost a year and a half to fully rehab it. I was good to go. I retore it in 2021 wakeboarding, rehabbed it again, got it pretty good, but now it's been just giving me, like, if I kick this thing wrong, it just kind of gets out of whack sometimes, and I'm constantly having to spend an extra 30 to 60 days to get it back. And so I think I might need surgery, I don't know, but that's why I'm here, to get the MRI and see where we go from here.
And people do that all the time. They come in first to get the MRI, And if it's abnormal, then they take the results to their doctor and get the treatment. If it's completely normal, then they're like, oh, I don't have to go take you to the doctor at all because I know there's no meniscus tear, there's no ACL tear, there's no arthritis, and they can just have comfort that if they take the ibuprofen or take it easy, they're going to be fine.
Now, do you ever give any kind of recommendations, or you never even really offer anything? Like even in the video reports, do you leave it up to the doctor?
We pretty much leave it up to the doctor. We sometimes it's very obvious that you need to have surgery.
Like it's completely
we'd say, hey, your ACL is completely torn, you're a young guy, you're going to need to, I mean, if you go see a surgeon, almost for sure they're going to tell you need to have the ACL repaired.
Got it.
And we can answer questions about that. Or if you have a meniscus tear that's complex, we'll say, you're going to have a surgery because you have a complex meniscus tear, there's displaced tissues, and it's not going to heal, so you're going to have surgery pretty much. On occasion, there are things that are like a very small, tiny meniscus tear. We may say, take it to a doctor, and the orthopedic surgeons give you advice. But if you go to one orthopod versus another, you may get different advice. Because some people will want you to rehab, other people want to go in there and just trim off the piece that's torn. But so sometimes it's not clear, so we don't go there.
Well, that all sounds perfect. I'm ready. I guess I need to fill out some paperwork.
Oh yeah, so here you go. We're going to get you started here. Just fill out this paperwork. It takes about 5 minutes.
Perfect.
And you can just sit there in the chair, and when you get done, come get me.
All right, sounds good. Sounds like a plan. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and fill out the paperwork. Now, just to let you know, they actually do accept walk-ins. So if you're coming off the street, they can get you in and get an appointment pretty quick. So it might take the process just a hair bit longer, but what really helps if you go ahead and do this in advance, you book your appointment online, you fill out all the information, then they're gonna give you a tablet anyways, and you basically just need to acknowledge and just make sure all your information is correct and you're good to go. It's simple, fast, and efficient. All right, information's all filled out. Here you go.
Check that out. Thank you. Perfect. Great job.
Sweet, awesome.
Okay, now we got the paperwork filled out. It's time to take you back for the MRI.
Okay.
And at this point, I'll ask, do you have any metal in your body?
No metals in my body. Obviously, take off my watch. Thank God I went on the website first because I was about to wear some jeans. But you should wear like sweatpants, loose-fitting clothing.
Exactly. Yeah. No jewelry, no bracelets.
Okay.
Yeah. And no, if women are not supposed to wear a wire underbra because it can conduct electricity.
Okay,
no
gotcha.
Jewelry. And then even pants. There's stretchy pants, athletic pants. Lululemon, I guess, this particular brand may heat up. It has metal sewn into the fiber. So there's a few things we'll screen you for. And once you're screened, we'll say you're safe.
Okay.
Come on back. So you can follow me back.
Okay, perfect.
And we'll put you on the scanner.
All right, sounds like a plan.
All right, here's the MRI room. There's a really...
danger zone.
Yeah, exactly. So you do not want to go in here with any wires. The wires we're wearing here, I have to take off. Yeah, any cell phone I have on me, I have to take off. Any metal can't go in there because it's a very powerful magnet that it can pull the metal off of you like a projectile.
So if my cell phone, will it just get destroyed?
Well, if it's very close, it might get, Cell phone doesn't have a lot of metal, so it has to be very close to mess that up. But if there's a ladder or some oxygen tank, something big and heavy, it can fly really fast and cause a lot of harm. So we just make sure that nothing happens in there with any metal. So I have to take off the metal and I'll put you on the scanner.
Okay, perfect.
But here, I'm going to open the door here. It's a very heavy door here. This is lined with a material that keeps out the, so it's all metal around the whole room. It's caged, a Faraday cage, and this keeps out the radio waves. Radio waves that are all around us will mess up the signal. So we need to have this closed like this with the metal touching, and it will lock, again, keep out the radio waves so we have nice clean images.
Okay, wow, that sounds perfect.
All right, well, here we go.
We'll get on in. So going into this MRI machine, you have to make sure you don't have any metals on your body that would disrupt the magnet. So I took my shoes off just to be safe. From my most recent experience here, if you happen to be claustrophobic, which I'm not, and you're getting an MRI of anything from the waist down, it doesn't even feel like it would be an issue as your upper body is completely out of the machine and in an open space. Since I was getting an MRI on my left knee, there's a little cover that went over my leg, which I didn't even notice was there, so there was zero restrictions on it. I was offered headphones to put on, and they even asked you what type of music you want to listen to, so your time spent here is as pleasant as possible. As you can see, I'm laying down on the machine, resting my head on a plush pillow. This was a very comfortable experience. I almost caught myself falling asleep at the end. It was that relaxing. They even offer you a blanket if you happen to feel cold, which I was super fine without. The temperature was very cool and comfortable. The machine begins to raise. You're gonna slide forward just a bit as you're about to get the scan. And for anyone that may be worried, what if I'm beginning to panic? I don't wanna be in this machine anymore. What do I do? Fear not, they offer you a little ball to squeeze, which that will give them a signal to let you know that you're in trouble, and they will pull you out of the machine. I always heard some people saying getting an MRI was not a fun or a pleasant experience, but I will be brutally honest, I had an enjoyable time going through this process, learning about the benefits of getting an MRI. Most of my body felt like it was in the machine, and this felt completely relaxing. All right, I just got finished. It was actually effortless. I didn't feel anything
what a great patient,
claustrophobic.
yeah.
I mean, I won't do a little voiceover. You'll be able to watch what the experience was like, but it was actually pretty simple, efficient, super fast. I loved every bit of it.
Well, I gotta say though, you had the knee done. So the knee,
Right.
your head is poking out. People who have their brains done or neck, their head is inside and they do have more problems with claustrophobia. But a knee, foot, ankle, even lumbar spine is not bad at all.
Okay,
but you did great. This is a disc
so
with
all
the images.
results are in here? Okay.
This is a disc just for the doctor. You take this and give it to the doctor.
Okay, got it.
You're gonna get the images online. So you're gonna get an email within 24 hours.
Cool.
And the email will have the written report and the images to look in the cloud. And then if you order the video report, you can always add that on anytime.
Okay,
and then
perfect.
we'll create a video that will describe what's going on.
Okay.
If you ever want to talk to me or one of the other doctors,
Okay.
you can add a talk to the radiologist.
Okay.
And we'll describe what's going on.
And then I guess obviously if I needed something like immediately, what's the soonest if I wanted to do an add-on option to get something fast?
It's we have for $50 you can get stat results. So within 90 minutes, usually it's 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but guaranteed in under 90 minutes you can have the results.
Okay. Wow, that's absolutely perfect. I'm glad you can get something done super fast and efficient. So
and there's a little gift for you for coming in.
Oh, thank you so much. Man, I really appreciate it. Well, this is awesome. It was such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I guess final thoughts, why should someone get an MRI?
Well, MRI is very safe and very powerful. You can see inside the body. You can see the ligaments, tendons, muscles. You can see the menisci, the labra. You can see inside the brain parenchyma and see basically everything in the body you can see. And again, it's completely harmless. So it's an extremely powerful, very effective way to find out if you've had an injury, what kind of injury it is, and then what the doctor needs to know to give you the proper treatment.
And this might even be a good idea before even scheduling an appointment with a doctor, just to go ahead and get the MRI first, just to be on the safe side.
That's exactly right. A lot of people come in before we see the doctor, and if the scan is normal or very minimal, then they don't waste the time making the doctor's appointment and going in and paying that money. They have peace of mind knowing that it's good.
Okay, and then one last thing I just remembered, if a female is pregnant, should she be able to get an MRI or no, or can
That's
she?
a good question. We have some good questions here. Yeah,
I'm trying.
Yeah, so first trimester is the one where we don't like to do MRI. Yeah, the organs are being formed in the first trimester. So
no radio waves or something? Or?
It's probably fine. They think that it's no problem. So they don't do experiments on kids. Like, hey, let's take 100 and do it. And so they've never experimented, but they think it's probably perfectly safe. But just
to be on the safe
an abundance of caution. They say just don't do it in the first trimester unless you have to. Some people do have to, and they have it in the first trimester. But here in most places we just nope, unless there's something really critical the doctor needs to know. But most places will just be cautious, wait till the second or third trimester, and that's not a big deal.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we're going to definitely do a follow-up video. I'll probably link this down in the description, and you'll be able to see Dr. Brian going over all of my results and explaining what's going on with my knee. I'm going to link all of your information down below, and the details will be down in the description, also down on the comment section as well. So feel free to check out First Look MRI. Go on their website. I did ask a handful of questions here that I thought to the best of my knowledge, but you can go ahead and check out the website. You'll see all of the information that's available on there. And also, if there is any other information you'd like, please go ahead and give them a call. I think it's one of the best centers. They were very warm, welcoming, and inviting to have me. And I'm super pumped to be here and to have this experience. So thank you so
for
much
coming
again.
in and taking the time to
it.
show people about our business. And we look forward to taking care of you if you come here.
Awesome. And so that's going to wrap up today's video. Please, thank you so much for being here, watching this video, checking it out all the way through. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe down below. Click the notification bell so you never miss any of my latest content. And if you have a friend, a family member, a loved one that needs some urgent care and help, please go ahead and share this video with them. Share the experience of what it's like to get an MRI. It's not that bad as it seems. And if you go to First Look MRI, it's done very affordable, fast, and efficient. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you in the next video.
I keep on working, got purpose and worth. Music's my cure and this world is my purse. Get rid of this curse with every verse. Of course I've been hurt, but some have it much worse. Leave me alone, get out of my head. Block out the opinions until I am dead. They all go to speak, but you listen instead. Listen some more and you'll cease to regret. I keep on working, I got it on track. You gonna see my name up on the flag. I sail the ship and I'll never come back. I keep this bitch on the line to attack. Never look back. I make a record like Crash. Top of my bracket I smash. I'm like a pack. I'm about to stack it like cash. It's gonna happen so fast. Never change my